Good morning, everyone. I'm Jeremy, and welcome back to the JB Woodworks and Stuff channel. So it's just after 5:30 in the morning. I believe it's June 12th, Friday, 2026, and no firewood today. I have a lot of firewood orders pending. I think I'm up to 58 full cord of firewood that I've cut, split, and delivered this calendar year so far. And remember, folks, I do this part-time, so that's working usually currently like Fridays and Saturdays, but usually no more than a couple days a week, maybe an evening or two. I think I'm at I'm guessing between 20 and 30 hours a week doing this. Probably closer to 30, but I also have like 30 something cord in orders that are pending. So, but the problem is, I'll show you when we get down here. We're driving down to the wood processing area. I'm almost out of wood, so I have to. Today's going to be a hauling day. Going to be going to my log supplier's wood yard, or his logging job. He's got multiple skidders running on a 1,000-acre piece of property, and he's got a couple different headers or landings that he's pulling the wood out to, and I should be visiting both of them today in order to get a mix of wood. I guess he's got a bunch of some birch, soft maple, and a little bit of other stuff on one, and then he's got mostly oak on the one I've been getting the wood from, which the oak is definitely more desirable than some of the soft maple and birch. It's all good wood. It's a lot of people don't want a lot of birch or soft maple. It doesn't have quite the BTUs as oak, or maybe even ash or cherry, something, or definitely hard maple, not as good as hard maple. Beech, we get a lot around here. So, but you know, what I try to explain to my customers as I get backed into my spot here, I get what the logger gives me, he gets what the forest gives him, so you're gonna get what I can get. So, but it's always mixed hardwood. I try not to give too much of any one type of wood, unless it's oak. I do have people getting a lot of oak, which is good and bad. Oak is great wood, but it takes a while to dry. Around here, it's mostly red oak. It's pretty rare to have white oak. I mean, you get some, but very little. But that being said, a lot of the red oak, I mean, in this area, most of the east part of the country, northeast anyways, over the central northern part of the country, I guess have been decimated pretty much by like gypsy moths and other boring beetles and stuff, and larvae that become moths and things like that. So a lot of the oak is died off here because of that. And if you don't get thin it out and use it for firewood soon, it'll stand there for several years dead. Bark will start falling off, whatever, but eventually it's going to start to rot, and you're not going to get any value out of it anyway. So so a lot of this on that lot that he's doing is oak, standing dead oak. A lot of it, when he drags it out with the skidders, the bark falls right off the logs. You might get a little white band anywhere from a 1/4 inch to sometimes an inch thick on the outside, depending how long it's been dead standing there. But the whole center core of it is good, solid red oak wood or whatever. So a lot of the oak I'm getting from him is in the 24-inch to 30-inch diameter. I mean, these are big old trees. It's a shame that they're dead, but at least we're getting something out of them. He's also able to get some to a sawmill and stuff, but because they're standing dead, there's higher requirements or whatever. So I've been able to get a lot of big wood. The only reason why I can handle that, most people don't want big wood, it's because the Easton Made 1222 with the log lift on it and the box wedge, I've done 30-inch rounds on that thing, and it'll break them down. It does pretty well. So which is good for me. I mean, it's a little harder to deal with the big stuff, but you get a lot of wood out of it quick. And they got a licensed forester or whatever that's marked this property out or whatever. So they're taking more than just the dead stuff. They're thinning the whole thing out, but they're leaving a lot of wood. So like I said, we have a pretty good relationship. It's been good for me. He's fairly close by. I think he's like, I don't know, around 8 miles away from where I process the wood. So I do truck it myself, and that's what we're going to be doing today. He could bring it to me with the guy that hauls for him, but he can offer me a way better deal if I buy it right there at the logging site, and he'll load me, and I bring the loads back. And at some point I'll do a video on the breakdown currently of what my costs are, including with today's gas prices and everything being so high. But it's still, doing it this way is very profitable. At some point, if I'm hoping to move up to a Easton made Evo, I know Andrew would love to sell me one. But see, Easton made. But anyways, that's a ways down the road. I got quite a bit of debt I'm trying to pay down with loans and stuff for this stuff, and there's things I want to do on my house to finish it. We built the house a few years ago, but we never did anything with the upstairs. It's a Cape Cod, so it's kind of like a story and a half. Well, the upstairs is unfinished, quote unquote, attic space at this point, but it's supposed to have 2 bedrooms and a full bath upstairs. The bathroom is framed and the plumbing roughed in when I did the rest of the plumbing on the house, but and the living room ceiling is supposed to be opened up to a cathedral, which would be like 17-foot ceilings in there. Well, all that's going to take some money and some doing to get done, and we certainly did not have the budget to do it when we built the house. And matter of fact, we didn't really have the budget for the house. I mean, buying it or building 2 years into COVID, the prices on building materials came down a little bit, but they were still extremely high to what they used to be, and still high to what they are now, even though you'll never see them back to what they used to be. It's funny how all that stuff works, but everything's increasing dramatically in cost. But so your cost of living is going way up. But even if you work at a decent job where you get a decent cost of living raise, it doesn't even meet with what the increased costs are. So I feel we're at a time where we're all going kind of backwards, but that's why I do what I do here. A side hustle, as they say, or whatever. I've always had something. Being a mechanic, I used to work on a lot of cars on the side. Made good money doing that, but I got sick of doing that because that's what I did all week too. So I started selling firewood probably around 08 or so. So it's been quite a while, and made it legit as a business in 2012. But still was only, at the best year, maybe 20 to 30 cord. I don't know, I might have had close to 41 year, around 2000. I was probably around 2012, 13. But I had a box store splitter with a 12-second cycle time. I mean, this Easton made with no load on it, I think it's like 4.5, 4.6 seconds. Huge difference. Plus, power-wise, the box wedge being able to produce a lot of wood fast. It does produce a lot of scrap off it, and a lot of it gets, falls down around a splitter or whatever. Some does get in the load, but I explained to my customers, you're getting, we're going to say the least expensive, and if there was ever poorer quality, this would be it. Meaning, it's green wood, it's not seasoned at all. It does have a lot of chips and stuff in it. A lot of people use a lot of it for kindling wood, but there's going to be some that you can't even use, bark and dirty parts or whatever else that they have to get rid of. But I always give more than a full cord, and I give it at a fair price. And all my customers that get it, I rarely have any complaints. Some will mention that there's quite a bit of junk in it, but they're all happy with the amount I give, and they all come back. So it can't be too bad. So that would be, if you want to if you want to offer a premium firewood product, which I do, that's going to be the kiln wood, because the stuff is going to be hand stacked from the splitter into baskets. So you're going to eliminate all that scrap, or other people have different names for it, but all the crap that comes off it. And plus it'll be seasoned. And it won't be necessarily like certified kiln dried. I'm not trying to do that yet, even though I could get certified through the Department of Environmental Conservation, as long as I can prove that I can get the internal temperature of the wood to 140 degrees for at least an hour. And I do plan on doing that eventually, but for now the focus is just to get wood dry, so people can buy dry wood from me. Pretty soon, we're here in the middle of June. You know, a lot of this oak I have, although it's oak, it dries pretty quick because it is standing dead, most of it. It's not as wet as it would be with a live tree. But, you know, you're 3, 4, 5 months, you know, out in the sun. If you dump it right off the truck, leave it in the sun all summer, then put it in your woodshed in the fall before bad weather comes, it's still going to be semi-seasoned. Some of it will even be seasoned. It depends on what the species of wood, how big it's split, all that stuff. But pretty soon, you get another month or so into this, and it's going to be hard to get it anything but semi-seasoned, and eventually it's going to be fairly green towards fall. And my customers always know what they're buying. I don't BS anyone. I leave it up to them if they want to. You know, if all I have is green to offer, it's up to them. And I do lose a lot of sales because I don't have seasoned wood. That's what the kiln's for. I'm going to try to get stuff down to under 20% as quick as possible. And that will be more of a premium product. Like I said, there won't be so much junk in it. But the green wood, a lot of people won't sell green wood. If your customer knows what they're getting and they accept that and they're okay with that, and they understand they're not going to do a fire with it tonight without it sit boiling water all night, there's nothing wrong with green wood. I mean, green wood is what's building my business, really. I would like to get where I'm doing more of the dry or an even mix. I mean, it'd be nice to do a couple 100 cord a year of each. The green wood is quick, but as I said, it's the dirtiest, or we'll say the least quality of the wood that we could offer, but the cheapest too. So it's all about knowing your area, knowing your customers, and letting them make the decision, being honest with them. And they'll tell you if what you have is what they want or not, trust me. But anyway, so we're gonna shut the truck off here. We're gonna go outside. We'll walk around for just a minute or two, and I gotta get the dump truck fired up, see how much gas I got in it. May have to run into the local town next just to get some top off the tank before I start hauling. Maybe get a breakfast sandwich or something and get this day rolling. So I got the old dump truck running. She's warming up. Not that it needs to warm up too much today. It's pretty warm this morning. I don't know what it is exactly. Feels to me like in the probably upper 50s. We'll have to check the weather on that to see what it really is, see how close I am. But anyways, it's a little muggy. It's supposed to be in the low 90s today, and up to the oppressive level of humidity. It's the kind of days you love. Anyways, you see this area here that's all been kind of cleaned off with the excavator. Well, this area, if you remember in previous videos, had oh great, we have deer flies out now, love them. But anyways, from that grass over there all the way around here, almost up to where I split the wood, there, I got that deer fly, probably up to where that big chunk of bark is on the ground there. I had a log pile, probably 10 foot high, 12 foot long logs. I would say it was probably 40 cord. And then, over here, this log pile used to come out to like where this chunk wood stuff is, just enough room where I could get the excavator between the table and the log pile, and it was at least 10 foot high. So I've sold a lot of wood. You know, that was all early winter. I had all that wood here, and since then, throughout the winter up to now, I've sold all that. Like I said, about 58 full cord so far this year. You can see down there my area that I'm filling in with the wood chips and sawdust is certainly got a lot in there compared to when I started. And I haven't even been doing this yet a year with the Easton Made 1222. But so we're gonna get some wood in here today. I'm gonna dump loads in this area here, trying to get the wood in this direction so I can get the excavator over here and just go back and forth stacking it up. We're gonna stack it here. I want to try to keep this area over here where the other pile was open, just because I think that's where I'm going to put the splitter. I keep changing my mind a little bit, but it's fairly level here. It's going to take the least amount of work to get it prepped for it. There'll be more to come on that. This pile right here in front of us, a short pile, is softwood. Well, popple technically is, or poplar is technically a hardwood, but it's a softer hardwood. But it's poplar, basswood. I had some hemlock. It was all wood I got real cheap because nobody really wanted it. And it makes great camp wood though. I don't sell it to my customers for heating their homes, but there's some on the table here. I had this table loaded right up with about a little over 3 cord. And I had a guy come over and help me the other night, and we were able to do 2 dump truck loads. They were heaped right up as high as we could get it and backed over there and dumped them. And that's my camp wood pile. But we were able to do those 2 loads, a little over 2 full cord, in just about an hour and 45 minutes with that, with me cutting the wood on the table here with my chainsaw and the other guy running my my Easton Made here. I think that's pretty damn impressive. An hour and 45 minutes to do over 2 full cord, and we were working right along. I tell you, and it was humid too. It was in the evening, so there wasn't really much sun, but so anyways, I want to get the rest of that split up, but this will actually be coming off the table and going back into the pile later today, and I'll be loading it with some of the wood that we're bringing here today, because tomorrow is a wood production day. Also up by the house, I have probably 6 or 7 full cord of pine logs from trees that I took down where the house is built. They were back in 22. They've all been decked up like these are, so they're not rotten by any means, but they're beyond what you would use for sawing into lumber, so they're going to become camp wood. So we should have a mountain over there in that pile, which is good because I've had some people asking for camp wood. The good stuff is that stuff dries pretty quick, especially this time of year when it's out in the open like that and it's hot and humid. We're gonna a lot coming up in the next week or two. Got to get the old army truck going again. We're gonna get that moved way down in there, as far as you can see down in the center there, because the shipping container for the kiln is going to get moved and put basically where the army truck is, parallel with the road, so I can start getting that set up. I hope to get that moved middle of next week. I got some time off coming up, and we'll see how that goes. But anyways, I got to get the tailgate off the dump truck, probably move the trailer, because I'm going to put I'll dump a load like right here close where I can just reach over and grab it and stack it. And we better get going, because it's heading towards 6 o'clock, and you know, you're burning daylight, as they say. So stay tuned.